Well, let's turn our attention to the game that's coming up on Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals. Because if you would have asked me a week ago what I think about this game, I'm thinking it's going to be probably boring if you're not a 49ers fan because it's not going to be close. But after what they did to Dallas, now Dallas wasn't good. They committed 13 penalties for over 100 yards. The Dak Prescott threw an interception. They did not play well. Um, but how much of that was the Cardinals? I mean, is this a team that actually could cause some problems for the 49ers?
I think they're a team that can cause some problems. Are they a team that scares me? No. I just got done today watching the film on the Cardinals, and what you see is one, the Cowboys really struggled handling quarterback option runs. So much like what we were seeing with our offense with Trey Lance, or you were seeing in Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts, that the quarterback run as an option is baked into almost every run they have. And Dallas really struggled with that, and Arizona was able to get numbers in the run game. Now, when it came to if they didn't get numbers in the run game, Dallas's front, it was usually a 0 1 yard run. Most of the times that I was seeing was defensive lapses from Dallas. There was mistakes. They would have two guys accounting for the quarterback, and there would be a 5-on-4 or 6-on-5 blocking for the offense. I think the 49ers are going to come in much more prepared on that. And I don't know if Dallas was just looking past them, if they didn't, their guys weren't on their P's and Q's about that, what was going on there. Another thing was, like you said, the penalties really extended a lot of drives for Arizona. And what that meant was that Arizona kept getting opportunities. We've seen with our team, sometimes you're going to have, when you were committed to running the ball, you're going to have a lot of 1, 2, 3 yard runs. It's when you keep getting chances at it, you might break that 40-yarder off. And that's what you saw versus Dallas, was that there would be either a penalty or somebody would play out of their gap, or the Cardinals really went after, it was Diggs' backup, number 26. I can't remember his name, but I remember because I see numbers on film. Number 26, they were going after him in man coverage. And he gave up a number of first downs. They would isolate him, have a 10-yard out route, and he'd lose. I think they hit that like 3 times to extend drives. When you're doing that kind of stuff, it's hard to then keep the other team from being able to run the ball.
One thing that I saw is that the Cardinals are really bad at tackling, which is important when you're playing football. I think they're one of the worst teams at actually making tackles. Like they've given up, I think it was almost 300 yards after first contact, and now they have to play the Yak Kings. You think that's something that the 49ers are going to try to exploit?
Oh, absolutely. One thing that the 49ers are amazing at is that they have space beaters. So if they put a guy in space, they are really tough to bring down. And the way Jonathan Gannon plays a lot of his defense, he's a Vic Fangio disciple. So it's very Fangio-like in his defense, and so that means you're going to have a lot of shell looks, and you're going to have space underneath. It relies a lot on guys being able to tackle in that 2 to 5 yard range. That is what that defense is really based upon. When you go back and look at Philadelphia, everything was about, we're going to keep that and allow guys to attack downhill, have a monster defensive line to control the line of scrimmage, and we're going to go attack your short passing game and tackle. And I think that's one thing that the 49ers were looking to exploit in that NFC Championship game. If we remember back to when Vic Fangio was with the 49ers in 2011 through 14, we had that. We had great tackling safeties, Dante Whitner
Yep.
and Goldson, and we had amazing tackling linebackers, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman. Okay, so you had these guys who were really good at tackling in those situations, and Jonathan Gannon is building a defense very similar to that, is what he wants, but they don't have the talent on that side of the ball yet. And so I think this is going to be a situation where you're going to see a lot of stuff in between, to me, in between the numbers and the hashes. You're going to see a lot of passes in that zone to have space. That's where that defense is kind of vulnerable a little bit, so look for those. Look for Debo in there, CMC in there, Kittle in there, and then when they go man coverage, they're going to try and go to Ayuk.